Howdy, close enoughers. It's been a while. It's been a crazy summer. Everything from deaths and just work stuff, just personal stuff, and the heat and humidity. It's been like that, I guess, probably all over the country. But anyway, I've been away for a little while. Been working on a few little projects while I was in the house in the air conditioning. Started making our hats and started making our shirts. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's that truck. So I've been making them with the 51 and with my tractor and some with golf carts and stuff like that. And so just been trying to stay busy, trying to learn how to edit and stuff like that, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I just thought I'd show you around a little bit, get you caught up, and let you know what we're into. Sorry, I just got done mowing, so I'm probably covered in leaves and everything. But anyway, some stuff that about everything I own needs work. It just isn't that the way it is, for you guys that are in my kind of, stuff. Got a garage full of pressure washers that's got to be worked on. My golf cart, the other day I was out riding it a little bit, and I noticed when I turned around, I noticed a string of fuel. So I got a fuel leak in here somewhere. This is a Robbins engine, and yeah, this is how I got it. Pretty redneck, but it works, for the most part. But I've got probably, I think the leak is going to be down here, because it feels like there may be a crack in the fuel filter or something from here in this hose. So I don't know. That's just comes from the fuel pump into the carburetor. So anyway, I gotta deal with that. My hands are good and greasy and good and smell like gas, I guess. This little buggy right here, this was one I got real cheap. It was in pretty rough shape, and let's see if I can put it neutral and pull it out here for you. I'll let you take a look at it, if it will. It's kind of finicky about neutral, but anyway, it's just an old 1990, I think, E-Z-GO, and it had some old junky wheels on it, and it was just filthy. The motor, everything was just filthy, so I pressure washed it and cleaned it up and got it running, and it smoked like crazy. And so I worked on the valves on it and straightened up the valves, so it smoked still a little bit, but anyway, not near like it was. It looked like town was on fire, but stuck some new wheels on there and fixed it up a little bit, so been kind of nice. The van, since I've talked to you last, I had to put on a new, my brain just went neutral. It had issues with the, I thought I could open it and show you, the coil packs. And so to do those, there's a plenum that's right underneath. As soon as you pop the hood, there's a plastic plenum. Well, there's a cover first, and then you got to take this plenum thing off, which is an air collection thing. You got to take that off, and then there's it's a 6-cylinder, of course. So you take each one of the coil packs off, and then the plugs, and we gapped them and everything. So that's what's been going on that. And I also had trouble with the turn signal, so I changed out the switch that was burnt. My big Toyota, I got a little bit of a brake cylinder leak in there, so I don't have a very good brake on that. But the front is all brand new, and the other side's working great. But the 51, so this is the latest on the 51. I still haven't given it a good bath yet. Amy gave it a pressure wash, and it cleaned it up some. But we're going to, if you get a chance, check out a channel called What the Rust. What the Rust. It's a couple that's about the same age as Amy and I, and he loves these old cars. And he's got some ideas that are cheap, and it's something I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, I found one fender flare. So there's that. But anyway, what he does is he scrubs these cars down, and when he scrubs them down, he'll scrub them down with wash them real good, and then he'll take some sandpaper, like maybe 200 or something like that. And something that surprised me was that on this paint, like where you see all this rust, on his, he was scrubbing this rust that's on here. And when he did, it surprised me how much black paint was under this rust. And it's got me curious to see how much black paint is under here. So the top, of course, it's just rough. You can see a piece of paint right there. So the goal is to just keep the patina. I like the patina look, and hoping we can just oops, sorry, changed it on you. The other thing that What the Rust, the one thing that they have is they found this stuff. It's called Flood, F-L-O-O-D, and I don't know the fancy words for it, but it takes very, very little, and you can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or whatever. But anyway, it's this, see, like Vice Grip has, those really nice products that I just simply can't afford. They go on, that's clear coats and whatever. And then there's talk about you can use things like maybe I think it's mineral oil and something else. But anyway, it gets kind of sticky and it collects the bugs and all that stuff. But this stuff, Flood, it goes on with a really pretty sheen. Now, the trick is you use like a 200 on this just to knock off this big chunky stuff. And when you knock off this big chunky stuff, then you go after it after that with a 400, something pretty fine, and just get it really smooth. And you can feel when it starts to get smooth. It starts to get, it'll just feel smooth underneath your sandpaper. And then once you get it that smooth, then you wash it off real good, dry it off real good, and go at it with that stuff called Flood. Check them out. It's called What the Rust. I think you'll like them. And they're just an older, I say older, like they're probably me and Amy's age, probably 60 maybe. Hope I'm not offending anybody, but somewhere around there. And he's kind of got the same ideas I do. He retired and was wanting to get started doing some work like that. So that's kind of how I want to do it. I want to, once I'm at 62 or whatever, I want to retire and be able to work on this stuff at my leisure and take care of friends and do things for people for free. Everything I can do for free. Charge a little when I have to, but those of them that are close to me, I want to just help somebody, or help somebody that can't help themselves. So anyway, on the 51, you guys remember how nasty it was. I want to show you a little trick I came up with, and it's pretty cool how it's working out. If I can get the door open. So I didn't do anything with the door cards yet, but that's coming. We're going to take the door cards and make them. We're going to just basically rebuild them and put new vinyl on them. But let me turn things around. So the door cards are just absolutely nasty, but they've got the general shape. So what I want to do is to take either some kind of maybe masonite was what we used to call it. It's that real thin board, and trace it out, cut it in, and then cover it with vinyl. Just cut holes in there for the door latches and everything, and for the grips and things, and the door window crank and all that. So I want to kind of do that, and I'm going to try to preserve this here on that show, What the Rust. The man's wife did theirs, and oh my goodness, I think it was a 50-something Chevy, maybe a 51 Chevy. But anyway, she redid theirs, and they painted the dash and everything. It looks so nice. But someday I'll get there. But anyway, for the interior, here's what I did. Look how much nicer. Isn't that cool? You know what that is? That's a $4.99 Harbor Freight moving pad. And it is so nice. It's comfortable. It's nice and cozy. And it's, you know, it's just nice. It's nice. And, you know, so I like it for $4.99. You know, and if the cool part about this is it's reversible. If you don't like the you know, as Derek says on Vice Grip, pick your flavor. It's reversible. One side is silver and the other side is black. So you can pick your flavor. So I'm going to try something else. I bought a second one. And what I'm going to do is I want to just try it. I mean, it's just an old car, you know, and it really don't matter too much. It's just what I like. But this old top was in bad shape. And so I saved these little ribs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all these ribs down. And I'm going to bring in that other Harbor Freight one that I've got. And I'm going to put it up in there and then use those to hold it up. What do you think? You think that'll work? I don't know. But anyway, I want to try it. I mean, it should keep down some of the heat, maybe. For sure, the noise. And I'm hoping that it does good for us. I cleaned on the dash a little bit. The dash like that. So it looks pretty good. You know, it's just got, you know, all the, you know, I just tried to get there where you can see it. I only did half of the actual dash because I was taking off paint, and so I wanted to stop and figure out something different. But you can see right here, this has still got junk on it, but this side over here is very clean. And I'm tickled with how this turned out. This was all fogged in. I actually thought it was painted gray, but as you can see, it's got reflection. So that all turned out pretty nice. The knobs are kind of, you know, that one looks like a replacement, but you know, the radio, all those buttons work, you know, they just, you know, it is what it is. But I've not tried, you know, I've not put any 6-volt to it yet to try to see if the radio or anything works. There's a cigarette lighter. So anyway, it's just got some cool things. I believe this is the choke, I think. Not sure. But over here's a start button. I don't know what this is. If you guys know, tell me. And I believe that's a light switch right there. But I don't know what that is. I think it's probably, I don't know. It's got an O on it, so I don't know what that is. But if you know, please tell me. You can't really read the odometer. Try to get somewhere. Maybe one of you youngins has got good eyes. Maybe you can tell me what the mileage is on that, because I can't tell. 50 something, 182, something like that. But the numbers are a little dark and dirty. I don't know if I can take that apart and clean it or not. Here's the other gauge. So that's what's there. Of course, the parking brake. This is cool. This right here is like the defroster. It's underneath. So yeah. And then over here's a vent. So it's a little froze up, but it's got a big V on there for vent. And so, you know, we'll be doing some more stuff like that. This is really one of the first times that I've sat in this because it was just pretty gross. It was as gross as could be. And I just can't wait to get it out and about. The top has got a bend in it from where that tree branch fell. I've thought about fixing it. Let me get over here where you can kind of see a little bit more of how that's bent down. I've thought about fixing it, but I think I may just leave it. You know, it's kind of like the patina. It's earned that scar. It was parked outside and been outside from according to Rodney, like the mid-90s to, I don't know, maybe like 2000 something, 2010, something like that. And it fell. And when it fell on, a tree branch fell on it, hit this car. And we removed the tree branch, and me and Dad went over to Tommy's house and hooked the tractor to it and drug it into a lean-to. And so anyway, that was my first time ever seeing this car. And Tommy and I always talked about it'd be nice to fix it up and things like that, but we're gonna get there. That windshield, let me turn this around. The windshield's a little smoky, as you can see. I've not noticed this until just now. It's got a little crack right there, but it's kind of cool, you know. That smokiness is a little weird, but that wing window's got a crack in it. The smokiness over there. And this is probably the worst wing window. It's pretty bad. Got a tiny little crack in it. If you can see it, don't look in my garage, it's nasty. But it's not cracked, so, you know, it's all right. Well, let me show you around a little more. I got one more trick to show you. So, here's my Harbor Freight moving blanket I'm going to put up at the top. And, you know, since the interior is gray, I went with gray. I'm going to get another one to cover the back seat. But for now, it's fine. It's fine. I haven't even really vacuumed it out. I've took leaf blower and blew it out that way, but I haven't really done much as far as cleaning up. Just blew underneath the seats and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's kind of how that goes. But here's my little trick that I want to show you. See that? This made everything possible. This right here, it's a little ozone air purifier. And this little booger just does an amazing job. Before, it used to stink like crazy in here. And I just set this on the floorboard, you know, just on the floorboard. I didn't want to put it up here where it's kind of crunchy and whatever, but anyway, I just set that in here on the floorboard and turned it on overnight and came out the next morning. After you shut it off, you're supposed to wait like maybe an hour and a half or something like that before you open the doors and start working after you shut it off, you know. So anyway, I did, and I can't believe the difference in the smell. I mean, it smells kind of like it went from something dead. Now it just kind of smells like Grandpa's old hat or something, you know. And so anyway, that's kind of just a couple little tips for you to try out when you get an opportunity. I haven't really done much in the trunk as far as that goes, but kind of hard to get the trunk lid open with one hand. But anyway, you've already seen it there. So anyway, so that's going to take a little doing, but I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't show you this back door card on this one. I never did, I don't reckon. But that one is just, it's got pretty good shape. All the edges are good and crisp. Of course, all that's shot, but you know, it'll let me to trace a pattern. And that show I was telling you about, What the Rust, they use this stuff that comes from, sorry if that was loud. They use this stuff that comes from Lowe's, and it looks like that white material, like what, you know, the mayor and all the, when they're running for office and all that stuff. It's like it's that material. And hang on a second, let me open the hood. Yeah. So anyway, they use this material that opens up. It's like that. It's like a corrugated plastic. It looks almost like cardboard that's in plastic, white plastic, and that's what they used and wrapped it in vinyl. So anyway, that's kind of neat. Here I am with the 216. I took the carburetor off and used it, put the carburetor on my truck frame. That some of you that have seen them, you may have seen that. And so when I did, I had, you know, we tried to get it started. We got it turn over. It does turn over. We weren't able to get it started, but that's okay. I'll get it going. But after doing some research on that truck, when I finally got to the engine block and was able to read the number on there, the engine block on that one, on that truck that's out there, is a 261. It's not a 235. It's a 261, and it belongs on a heavy-duty truck. So I got a little change of plans. I'm going to go with this 216, and it is stuck, but I've been spraying PB Blaster. I've tried acetone and you know, everything I can think of to get it to where it would have a chance, you know, to turn over. This driveway, we just had this driveway poured, and it's very, very soft, so I don't have a good way to jack things up under here. But anyway, I'm going to try to see if I can put something on the crank and rotate it. That crank is the old style. It's got the where you would actually put a crank in it, like back in the old days. You put a crank in there and you turn it from the outside, so it doesn't have a nut or a bolt on the end of it. But anyway, that's what that is. But so it's pretty clean. I mean, as far as, you know, there's a little bit of leaves down there, but we blew this out and tried to clean it up some, and it's got a ways to go. I'm gonna pressure wash it one more time, and but the thing about this 216 is, it's, you know, it isn't the most powerful thing in the world, but this isn't the biggest car in the world, and I don't know that I need a 261 in it. But I don't know. I'm just thinking I'm going to skip that truck frame in 261, and I may see if anybody wants it. If you guys want it, let me know. The frame is nice and all that. I'll go back and look at it here in a minute. But anyway, it's got the oil bath in there, and it's got the generator. The generator turns pretty good. An old Delco Remy, I believe it is. And I did rob the carburetor off of that. It's kind of hard to see down in there, but anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get this one back up and running and go that route with it. So it is what it is. And that's the old 51. Amy just moved the Mustang around behind so I can mow. So I appreciate her doing that. Mustang's running good. I don't know of anything it needs. The big Ford, we've got to do some transmission work on it. It's leaking a little bit of somewhere. I can't find it, but it somehow just keeps, the transmission fluid keeps disappearing. And it's too sweet of a truck to not fix it up and to not have it, you know, running good and all that. It is a fine truck, and it is so clean and so nice. It's about rusted out. Right there's the rust on it. Whew, man alive, it's about shot, ain't it, for a 96. And interior's in good shape. It's very clean. I mean, clean as far as close enough garage standards are, but it's Dad has done an amazing job keeping this nice, and it just everywhere we go, people just stop and talk about, oh man, that is such a nice truck. But it's been in a couple car shows, and because people just, and a lot of people grab it or come by and they'll tell us, oh, I used to have one like that, it was so nice, you know. But you know, underneath the doors, all that's just perfect. And you know, whoop, there's a rust spot right there. Lord have mercy. But it's got those Alcoa wheels that everybody wants. The only thing that people don't is bad about this is it's got the 351 instead of 460, or especially instead of the diesel. But it's very clean, very nice. We try to keep it as clean as we can. With this video going this way, this thing looks like it's 7 miles long, don't it? But it's straight. It's just a pretty truck. And, you know, we just love it. nice bumpers. And this truck is no sissy. I mean, it has had some, it's done some work up here. I don't know if you can see that spot up there where the bed is touching the back window, if you can see that. Hauling some barrels, and they were heavy, and I think there may have been some, I don't know what all is slid, but there's been a few things up in there that have slid forward, and I know it's hauled a ridiculous amount of block and sand, and because that's what it did before Dad retired. Dad did a lot of block and concrete masonry work with his brother, and so anyway, it's been used, and it's hauled trailer after trailer after trailer, and pulled countless people out of the ditch and snow and everything. It's just been used a lot. It has been a good friend to us. Oh, Kubota, it's a fine machine. I love it. It runs good, all that. The only issue with this is the issue that we're having with it. Looked like it broke off. The issue that I'm having with it is full drive. It's got a little lever. You can kind of see it back over there, but there's a little lever that you push to put it in full drive, and it will not go. The lever goes forward, but it just will not go. So I have taken the front end apart, trying to see what I can see. I've checked the drive shaft. The drive shaft is spinning. So the only thing I can think of is maybe it's an issue with fluid. So I don't know. All right, moving on. So here's the 261, and this one, we got it. We robbed the carburetor off of the 51 a few weeks ago, and put a glove over there to keep it dry. And I had a bottle up there to feed it with the fuel. It's been soaked down with Marvel Mystery Oil just to make sure. We used the little bottle I had of fuel that I was going to put in there. It had 2-cycle oil in there, just, you know, like weed eater gas. So that's what it had in there. This one is a little different. This starter, and that's kind of one thing that really got me thinking. This starter will work okay. I mean, the starter will turn this over okay, is what I'm trying to say. But I got to change the starter because this is a push button. So when you press this button, that's what starts it. So over here, there is a plate that's on here, and there'll be some linkage that hooks up on there. And inside the car, you press that button, and it almost looks like a bright lights, you know, a bright switch on the floor. And so when you press it, it presses that, it moves this down, and this part presses against that, which is what makes the starter turn over. Now that's the old way out of a truck. Mine has a push button start, so I have to swap this here. Those of you that may know, maybe I know this starter works. I don't know about the one up there. If you know of a way where I can swap that, let me know, and I'd appreciate it. Maybe it's something I can do. To make that starter in the 51 work on this motor, I have to take the flywheel off and the starter, because the teeth won't match from this starter to that flywheel. So those are interchangeable. Now to make this work, then I have to drill new holes, and I'm just not comfortable with that. One other problem is this this fan, and to hear them talk, you know, there's some things about it that, and I've got to do some more research on it, but as far as the fan goes, I think the fan is too long, something like that. So anyway, I got to do some changes. Hey, here's a good look at how that works. So the way this works is, I was looking to see if I could find a stick. There's a stick. So the way this works is you put the crank in there, and see how that's got like a little ramp there and there. So when you turn it this way and you get it to start, when it starts, your crank will go up that ramp so it doesn't rip your arm off. But that's kind of cool. I mean, that's just the way those are. There's a little piece that goes in the middle of it to help position it. And so yeah, that's how that works. We just painted it. We pressure washed it and painted it just so it doesn't rust. So I mean, it's not a Craigslist rebuild or anything like that. But if you know of anybody that needs something like this, and it's got the brakes, it's got the good frame, everything's there, you know, and all the clutch pedal, brake pedal. Yeah, I've got the transmission in the barn out there, but it's got the drive shaft and the rear end. It's got a good frame. I tried to see if my cousin wanted it, but I haven't heard anything from him, so I don't know. I don't guess he does. And there's a lot of work to do anyway. But the frame rails are in great shape. So if you know somebody that needs it, looks like a little bit of work has been done kind of recent back there. I don't know. Maybe depends on what you call recent on a 75-year-old vehicle. But actually, I think this is like a 53, maybe a 54. But anyway, you can tell by the wheels, this is a big truck. You know, it's got them 6 lugs, and so it's a big truck. But the frame is nice, the springs are nice, and yeah. So anyway, it's been a long summer. Lots going on. We had some family and friends pass away. We had 5 funerals in 8 days. So that kind of knocks the wind out of anybody. So yeah, keep our family in your prayers, and we could surely use them. I'm wanting to see about putting in a shop. And the problem is I live on the mountain. There's not a whole lot of flat spots here on the mountain. Where I'm thinking is it's kind of a low spot, but right out there behind the shed, right out there, it's got a hill going up towards the neighbor's fence, a hill coming up towards our backyard, but that there is kind of flat. I don't know if it'll flood, maybe some drainage or something, but I'm wanting to put in like at least a 3-bay and have enough room for a little office, my wife could work out there with me with the little she shed, and it might help a little bit. The other thought we had was right here. Yeah, I need to do some pressure washing, don't I? So anyway, this is kind of flat. It's still a slope, but it's you know, it's a possibility. But I really want to have 3 bays, one for automotive, one for detail, like a detail bay, and another one for a little welding shop. And then plus for the winter, we are in Cumberland County, Tennessee, so it's not like we get big old crazy snow all winter. But anyway, it's something that I think we could put stuff in, you know, and I want to get my garage cleaned up, put Mustang in there, and Amy's van in there, and just have a spot where we can put Big Green and maybe 51, you know, put them in garages and have them undercover. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I hope you guys are doing okay. I miss you. I miss making videos, and don't ever let anybody tell you this stuff's easy, because it is not. I watch Derek and others make their videos, and they're pumping them out one a week, and I don't know how in the devil they're doing that. Granted, I still am working, and sometimes I work late, you know, trying to help out where I can. But them guys, I mean, the editing alone is just crazy. The music, what do you want, what do you don't want in it, cutting it out, putting it together, and it is a big job. And if you ever have an opportunity to support one of those, please do, because they need to hire some help. I wish I had help, but it's just me. And you know, it's a lot of work, and it's something that would sure be, they could sure use an assistant. But anyway, there's a few shout outs I'd like to make. Is Gary Kendrick. Gary, he's my cousin's husband and absolutely one of my favorite people in this world. I love him with all my heart. He has given me such good input. He's forgot more about old Chevys than I'll ever know. Him and his dad, especially him. I mean, first time I ever saw a rotisserie was at his house, and I thought, what in the world is that? And he called it a rotisserie, and me being a big old fat country boy, that wasn't my idea of a rotisserie, if you know what I mean. But anyway, he has given me a lot of really good, he calms me down when I'm struggling, and when I'm thinking, what do I do, what should I do? And so anyway, he's been a huge help to me. A website called The Hippie's Daughter. They have been very helpful with showing me how to do the shirts and the transfers and all that kind of stuff. And so if you're interested in one, let me know, and I may put a little video on there that has some of the pictures and some of the things we already have made, and we could make shirts for you. Amy, just let the dogs out. Say hi.
Hey.
He's fixing supper. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to The Hippie's Daughter. Check them out. She makes all kinds of like teas and wax melts, all kinds of just very, and I tell you what, when you meet them and you think Hippie's Daughter, you don't know what to think of that, but absolutely some of the finest people. Her and her husband, them youngins. In fact, her husband's got a I think it's a 53 and a half 5-window Chevy truck that you'll see some videos on here with him and I working on them. So working on that. So I'm going to get him started on that and get him rolling and getting his, they've got some boys there, young boys that want to get started doing some stuff, and I believe in letting your youngins help you, because it's just good. But those are just some people I want to give a little shout out to. Of course, Black Mountain Trading, Rodney Davenport, he's and his crew there, top notch. Whatever, if you're looking for something, call them. They probably got it. If they don't, it's out in the warehouse or something, you know. So call, give them a shout. I mentioned What the Rust. Give them a shout too. And check them out. See what you think. I think you'll like them. If you like old 51 stuff, and not just that, he's got. I watched one the other night about his brother passed away and left him a car, and it was a 72 Buick Skylark, I believe. And these folks are just normal people. He's now a volunteer firefighter, and that's what really caught my eye, because I'm a retired fireman, 30 years for me. But he's just now getting started at 50 to 60, whatever his age is, and he's just getting started. I admire him. I'm broke down, but I admire him for doing what he's doing. And his wife is sweet as could be, and just smart, and they just work good together. He has great ideas, and he does everything on a budget too, just like we do. And he doesn't have the money to do all these fancy things. He just fixes it, and I love that. But check them out too. And Budget Builds, Braden Builds, of course, Vice Grip Garage, No Nonsense Know How, all those. It's just great content. I think you'll like it. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I've been rattling long enough, but I appreciate you guys and all of your comments. Lots of good comments and things, ideas that you have. Kenny Powers. Kenny, I'm forgetting your last name as I'm sitting here. Anyway, yeah, Kenny Powers. He had an idea about painting the wheels red and polishing up those center hubcaps. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, because I just don't have the $1,500 it takes for money and tires and all that stuff. I just don't have it, and nor do I want to spend it on I could use $1,500 to pay on something else that would actually make me money, you know, like the tractor and getting ready for winter and getting ready next year to plow gardens or whatever I can do, you know. But yeah, it's I appreciate all your comments, and if you're interested in any of these emblems on a t-shirt, they're about $20 somewhere in there. And I've seen that on there and I'm thinking, daggum, a t-shirt for $25. And yeah, it's expensive. These labels, the labels are probably $9 or $10, you know, for these big labels like on the back of my shirt. And just the label, that's one. And then to get a decent t-shirt, that's about $7 or $8 for a decent t-shirt. And then by the time I mail them to you, it's $20. And I had no idea it was that expensive. But we just started making them for us, for Amy and I, and for Dad. And but anyway, it's just if you're interested in one, let me know. I'll make you one. And send me your address. Send me, you know, let me know which one you like. I'll take a picture of all of them that I have. You can pick what you want. And it'll be with one picture, you know, a big picture in the back, and then this one has, I don't really like this one because it's too dark, but anyway, they'll have a small pouch, you know, like a pocket emblem on there, so if it's something you want. The hats, I had the hats made. I'm still trying to learn how to do the hat thing, so I don't have hats yet, but we'll get there because I'm a hat guy. So anyway, appreciate you. Be good to your neighbor. Go to church. Spend time at your church. Love the Lord. He loves you, so love him back. Spend time with your family. Say hey to your mom and dad for me. And I appreciate all you guys do and all you say. So if you need me, holler. I'll be glad to help you any way I can. Appreciate you. See ya.